Alright, so make we hear what go on with Everald Warmington and the Speaker of the House in regards to the Portmore bill and the aftermath of the ruling of the judge and what is the JLP up to? Make we hear this.
So Boertong, Terratong can win. You get me? So some people now understand what is going on. Members of PNP, they tell them, say them have to go to the EOJ. Members of them ignore EOJ, And that's why PNP take them to court, my people. Now them a go over to the EOJ. And one thing I want the people them understand, Mark Golding never said, want Portmore to become a parish. He didn't say that. Him say, then if you go through the right angle, follow the constitution in the right way. That's what he said. Exactly. But the Jamaica Labour Party weren't doing that. And on top of that, we knew that they wanted Portmore to become a parish before election. So Boertong, Terratong can win. You get me? So some people now understand what is going on. If you go back and listen to Mark Golding, he never said him no want Portmore to become a parish. He didn't say that. He said them have to follow the constitution, and over Portmore they don't have no hospital, they don't have no market, they don't have nothing over there. So how can you make them to become a parish? You understand? You have to go through the right channel. But JLP weren't following the constitution. Them did a rush. Remember no man? Remember said the deputy, we call it the deputy governor general come out, and the deputy general alright with everything, sign off on everything with them. Remember said them pass the bill, Remember, so them passed the bill with using the majority of votes, Remember, so Jamaica Labour Party passed the bill, in a lower the lower house and the upper house, Remember good, And just because PNP bring them to court, now you see them a look at EOJ, because they can't do nothing else. You understand? More and go through EOJ. That's why now them a rush. The people, me want to take in this.
Issued by the courts, the next point of action would be for the Parliament, as the Electoral Commission of Jamaica would not be receiving any directives from the court, but through the Parliament, would forward said ruling for the attention of the ECJ in respect of continuing the process of making Portmore the 15th parish of Jamaica.
So my wisdom warriors, you see what she going to do this or no? She not going to make the court give EOJ any instruction anymore. It have to go through the Parliament. You see, because they know so them fail. You get me? They know so them fail. So now them are going to amend this and amend that to fit them lifestyle. You understand me? And it is wrong what she's doing. But anyway, my people, let's move along. Hear more.
Is there an agenda for today's meeting?
Member Jackson.
Thank you. So inquiring, is there an agenda for today's meeting?
Yes, I removed the document from your decks. An email was sent out. I wanted to make an adjustment or correction to a note on the agenda. And we also took a little bit of time to photocopy some of the documents that would go along with the court ruling, which I'm sure the ECJ would have, but for proper process and due order to send it to the ECJ from our committee.
So just for clarification, the agenda will be recirculated?
Yeah, absolutely, okay. Absolutely.
Yes, if them dirty style, my wisdom warriors, you say where I go on? Them always do this, Them always do this. She talk about she send out email. How if you send out email when the man already in the Parliament? Does that make sense? Like seriously, when you remove the notes from the man desk, like what is really happening? Actually, they know what the man see, what up on the agenda, They think some people are fool. The people hear more.
They're printing the agenda or sent it out by email as well. So the only edit being made to the agenda is matters for discussion. This section is quoted, section 67.3 of the Constitution, and it is updated to indicate definitively what is being done, which is submitting the provision of information stemming from the ruling of the Supreme Court regarding the commencement of the process of making Portmore the 15th parish of Jamaica. the Electoral Commission of Jamaica is hereby required to follow the provisions of the Constitution accordingly in this respect. So the only thing the committee would be doing today is forwarding the ruling of the Supreme Court, and the Electoral Commission takes the issue from there.
I think we have to go a little more than that. Was the bill that was passed in Parliament forwarded to Electoral Commission? I don't think so. So it means that we will now have to direct that that bill and the map with the boundary be forwarded to them with necessary instructions, not just a ruling. Because a ruling must be based on something. So we'll have to forward that to them, I believe, and make the necessary recommendation to them, I believe.
My colleague is insisting that we acknowledge that it's an act, it's no longer a bill. Yeah, sure.
So, Madam Chair, it would be a matter of procedure, therefore, but the substantive responsibility of the Boundaries Committee would in fact have access through the regulations as it relates to what our functions are. And our function does not include necessarily that we do that as a function of the Parliament. What we can ensure is that the Parliament does in fact execute according to its mandate.
Madam Chair, one of the reasons why I inquired about the agenda is the one that was circulated. I realized that there was no minutes reference for this meeting, minutes of the last meeting of the committee, and I'm making inquiries about that.
I had made inquiries, and they have not been able to locate the minutes of the last meeting. I'm not so sure how long ago that was. I believe it is before my time. I would have not been chair of the committee at the time. Parliament is hunting for it, Member Jackson. Members, so I will ask that, as is customary and required, that the members, unless you have any objections, we would pass to the Electoral Commission of Jamaica a copy of the ruling along with a copy of the act as passed by Parliament for their deliberations and their observations and their ultimate process. We in this committee would not be engaging in anything other than to pass or submit the information down the chain. Do you so move?
Along with the boundaries, not just the act, but the boundary also.
Yes, I have what
And
was
the issue is the issue is that there are two other copies here in color.
So members, let me just hold them up. Member Warmington is being very challenging.
Not challenging.
This document in black and white is the document of the map of the parish along with the boundaries circulating in the Parliament, but it is not as clear. This colored map is the exact same map, and you may take a look at them and match them. This, yes, so both will go, both the one attached to the bill or the act and the updated colorful copy.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
But the issue,
And it also has attached to it an environmental
so
Portmore and its environs.
yeah, that was done by the National Land Agency, and it shows the toll road, that's the boundary of the parish. And this one is the one that's in the bill, but that one is not blown up, and it's in black and white and hard to be read. And this is what went to be in the bill, and it's clearer than what you have there.
Yes, you are reiterating what I said, Member Warmington, that it's clearer, and we're sending both the unclear copy and the clearer copy, so that there is no challenge.
And my understanding is from what is in the act that affects 3 constituencies.
Member Warmington, I do not want to have any understanding
yes.
or go down that road. Our job is to pass the bill, the act, along with, no, Member Warmington, I am not going there with you. I'm not going there with you.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there, Member Robinson.
I just want clarity, Madam Chair, and we have the AG and the SG. In keeping with Section 67.3 of the Constitution, is the committee's mandate today only to pass the information from the ruling, and we are not commencing a review of boundaries?
I would want to make that answer very clear. I do not think we need to go any deeper, Member Robinson. Respectfully, the chair actually adjusted the agenda to make sure it is documented that that is what we are doing today. We are not having any boundary discussion.
Okay.
We are.
My wisdom warriors, wanna see how Juliet won't stay though. She don't want to discuss the boundaries, because she don't want the people them know the truth. She don't want the people them to know the truth. That's why she don't want to talk about the boundaries.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the JLP is being very, very cunning. Thank God for the sharpness of the PMP, but we, the people of Jamaica, also have a responsibility as well. Again, what they attempted to do in Portmore, if allowed to do this the way how they want to do it, which one battle is already won, but the war has not been won. And when I say war, I only mean the legal war. Staying within the Constitution war, because they like to go away from the Constitution, and they like to go around the Constitution as well. So let me be very clear about what I say when I mean war. It's the legal war, not a physical one. It's the constitutional war, not a physical war. Good? I'm gonna stay like for them people and we're talking about this and that and the other thing. Seeing? People, we are in for a long, drawn out situation. When I look at everything that is being done in this situation, let me even set a deadline for the people them have a border. They are doing everything in their power to create Portmore into a parish before the next general election. I would posit this, that I believe that one of the things that they're waiting on is that before they call the election. That is how important I believe it is to them that Portmore becomes a parish. But there seems to be a hiccup where that is concerned. So let's continue.
That's the Wagwan, mighty God. You know, when you say Wagwan, she don't want to get deep in it. That's why you see she go amend it. And it is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong what she had done. We can't wait for the whole of them lift up from out the house apart. Hey, yeah. Seriously. Seriously. Every single thing we see them do and for them own herself. Every single thing. This is Jamaican people. And just for them. Just for themselves. Because if you are going to come to my meeting now and you are going to send over documents to the EOJ, of course I'm not supposed to commence and review what had happened. But then make sure that them not do that. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want the Jamaican people to have a full understanding of what take place in the courthouse. That is the problem, my wisdom warriors.
Are just passing the ruling as it relates to establishing the parish and nothing else.
Thank you very much.
And that is very clear. So members, Member Warmington, I do not want to deliberate on it any further. I would like you to put it to a vote unless you have a objection to us passing it. I do not want our meeting to descend into a contentious one. So members, Jesus, point of order.
Thinking to start cutting carbs. I need to fat.
Here's the most interesting weight loss fact I learned in the last.
Tell the member to turn off yours. No, you may ask him kindly. Member Jackson, would you be so nice as to please turn your mic off? Thank you.
All right, yes. Madam Chairman, I would go further than that, than just to... Madam Chairman, I'll go further than that, to pass the act and the
you notice how he's stuttering to pass the act. He almost said bill, It's important that it is now an act and not a bill, ladies and gentlemen. It's the ruling of the court why it's now an act and not a bill. You get me? It's the process. They were trying to go over and around and through and over and around the EOJ, but no, them cannot do it. because of the ruling.
Boundaries to Electoral Commission for them to do. I think we should add on that, to that recommendation to them, that this be included in the voters list coming in May. They be considered as part of.
Want to see the agenda? Want to see why he was stuttering? You see why he was stuttering? They want to change and have it as a parish before the election, ladies and gentlemen. This is their agenda. They are desperate. They are the ones that is desperate. Because if they were not desperate, Portmore becoming a parish would not be a thing. They would call the election and then know so them are going to win because they have done so well for the country. And the country is doing so good, and there's economic growth, and the hospitals are amazing. We have the best doctors, you know, locally, and we don't need any outside doctors. We have the best teachers, and they live here and they're living well, and their families doing well. We have the best police officers, you know. They don't have to be, you know, doing anything outside of their police work, and be able to take care of their family and live in a safe community, a gated community, a secured community. No, everything is peaches and cream in Jamaica. So, you know, their records that our roads are amazing. Water is in every single parish, or at least 60% of the country has water, 60% of the household has access to direct water in their pipes. This government is just so amazing. They have brought prosperity to our country. In the last 10 years, we have seen a lot of growth, and so the election is now there called. And we don't need to change no parish, turn nowhere into no parish before the election. That is not the reality. The Jamaica Labour Party is desperate, ladies and gentlemen. This is desperation. Listen to this.
That voters list recommendation to them, that this be included in the voters list coming in May. They be considered as part of that voters list in May. Until that is done, this is of no use. So we should add that to the recommendation. So I'm asking for amendment to what you just said to add that to it.
Chairman, this particular...
Member Warmington, turn your mic off, please.
Sorry.
This particular sitting of the committee is deliberating on...
Warmington always expose the secret agenda of the JLP because he cannot keep his mouth shut, because he wants to rub it in the PMP's face. But you know, the Bible says, you know, the fool and his gold shall depart. You understand? So thanks everyone, Warmington, for opening your big mouth. PMP are going to fix on the business, man. The Constitution are going to fix on the business.
On a matter that is unprecedented in our history, in fact, in recent. Certainly, we've never had a situation where a new parish has been established, certainly in my lifetime, and certainly in my 38 years in this honorable house. Therefore, there's no precedent. And the Parliament having passed the bill and the Act having now been in a position to be fully implemented, we have one responsibility, and that is to forward the Act to the relevant AOJ who has that responsibility and to whom we have arrogated the right to deal with boundaries and delegated in order for us at a later date to approve. And that the simple matter therefore is for us to do so and to offer them a timeline to enable them to complete in reasonable time so we can deal with the matter appropriately. May it please you.
Member Jackson, after which I will just ask, because I want to be abundantly clear as to the call of each member, so I will just put it to a vote. Members, Member Jackson.
Yes, not to do with that, but the related subject of what is being referred to the ECJ, and in particular the electoral office itself. We have the benefit of the AG in our midst. Very unusual. I'm honored to be sitting in the same chamber with the AG. But there is on the matter that is being referred, to the ECJ, there was a comment made or attributed to the AG that I would like to benefit a little clarification regarding the court ruling that we are acting on. That the ruling, the order that was handed down by the Supreme Court, just for my edification, was there a lifting? Was there a lifting of the injunction?
Temporary injunction.
Yes. Was there a lifting of an injunction by the court?
Yes.
But I ask you that because my understanding is that the injunction that was issued prior to had expired upon that hearing.
Yes.
So if it expired, it couldn't have been lifted.
Hold on a minute. AG, would you be so kind, turn your mic on again, please?
Thanks. I'm very quick. What we have here is an undertaking by the.
You know, say this man and Joe sue, and I him my point. You remember when him sue the Integrity Commission? And every day him sue, you know. When him sue the government of Jamaica, and this man him sue, you know, the AG, you know. Yeah.
The minister to ensure that the constitutional process is followed. There's no injunction preventing anything, and it will probably a little bit eccentric perhaps for a court to want to give that type of injunction for any longer on man time. But the minister's undertaking to the court is that before he exercises the power given to him by the statute, he will ensure that the constitutional requirements are carried out. It might be useful to say that this function of determining constituencies, or the number of them, and the boundary of them resides in your parliament. It's residing in nobody else. I know we're all very proud of the Electoral Commission, and we attribute to them all sorts of responsibilities. But the Commission's responsibility is just to advise first this committee, and this committee will then recommend to Parliament. So, yeah, so the function, I'm making the point that you're deferring so often to the Electoral Commission, but you defer to it to advise you, and you will accept or reject the advice it gives. The Parliament makes the decision as to what the boundaries are.
People, I want you to understand and remember this moment. This is a very significant moment in our history. Understanding what he said is that the Parliament determines the boundaries. Well, if that is the case, to avoid a rogue government that has the majority, blatantly gerrymandering under our gerrymandering under style, what we're going to need to do is to change that framework. There's some powers that need to be taken away from the government in Parliament. Yes. We really have to look in detail. Man, we need some lawyers, bro. Hey, this is why Isaac Buchanan, bro. I'm telling you, man. This is why the team of the People's National Party is going to be key. We need a team of lawyers to really invite the people into the discussion of the intricacies. This particular situation of gerrymandering, we cannot allow a majority party to just be able to change and monopolize boundaries to fit their election scheme. We cannot allow that to happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge moment in our history. But let's continue.
I just want to follow up with the AG. I fully appreciate the latter point you made regarding the authority of the ECJ vis-a-vis the Committee of Parliament and the full Parliament. I just want to clarify about this lifting of injunction, that there was no injunction to be lifted because it had expired. And what happened, as you said, is that the court issued an order requiring the unconditional or unequivocal compliance.
The language of the thing. It's a consent order. The parties agreed to it.
I'm
and the consent order is the minister has a power under the statute to designate the date the statute takes effect. And he has undertaken not to designate a date, until he ensures that the constitutional process takes place.
Okay.
Which means that this committee must make its recommendation as to how many constituencies and how many.
Sure.
And will advise the appropriate office, the minister in charge of the elections, and of course, advise.
AG, I missed this committee must make. Could you repeat?
I'm saying this committee has a responsibility to advise on the numbers and on the boundaries of the constitution. It is its decision. No other body has that. In doing so, it acts on advice. It acts on advice of obviously its members. It acts on advice of the Electoral Commission. The Electoral Commission function is to advise you. And then you accept or reject it. And this committee, of course, will make a recommendation to its parliament, which may or not accept what you say. Parliament can change the recommendation you make.
Thank you very much, AG. So I will now put it to the vote that we pass the information. I do not take Member Warmington's point that, Member Warmington, please, that we insist on certain considerations. However, I would want us to incorporate in our vote so that timelines are important and set, that they return to us by May 31st, an indication of what they've decided and exactly what they're doing. So as a parliament, we are informed and we move forward from there. So we would ask that the ECJ return to us by May 31st. Let me go over. We will submit a copy of the court ruling. We will submit the copies of the administrative boundary that would have been attached to the act, both the not so clear copy and a clear copy, and the Portmore and Environs document. Members, I'm hearing a lot of talking. I'm moving first to vote. Please, no, I am putting it to a vote.
My wisdom warriors taking this.
Thank you.
Member Hilton, I am just reiterating. We are forwarding the ruling of the court. That's what we're forwarding. We're forwarding a copy of what would have been attached to the act and the act from Parliament. We are forwarding a copy that is a little clearer in terms of color of the exact document. And the only thing I've added to what I've been reiterating is taking into consideration the comment of Member Warmington in terms of getting a feel for time, not to insist on his statement, I won't even repeat it, but to ask that time be considered, and it is not languishing forever, that they return to us by the 31st of May with an indication with where they are, what is the final.
With an update.
With an update. On or before the 31st. So we're just setting a timeline to say, look, by the 31st of May, they would have come back to us.
Anyway, my people, when you see for them plan, Jamaica, mighty God of Daniel. That's why the whole of them in a one good mood. The whole of them in a one good mood, because they must say, yes, man. You see, you take we got court, but look, Portmore are going to become a parish before the general election. That them are thinking of their mind, my wisdom warriors. Only hear Warmington in comment. Only hear Warmington idea where him himself come up with. Hey, mighty God of Daniel, them are give deadline, Can you imagine? They are giving EOG deadline after EOJ already write a letter to them and tell them, say, for them don't sort out the boundaries, it's going to take up to 2 years. It's going to take up to 2 years. So now what them are doing now, put a time limit for hurry everything, done it quick. For Portmore become a parish before the general election, but it not going to work, my wisdom warriors. It's not going to work. You can't stay there. Just a while ago, the Gleaner put out something. That's why they're in a good mood, That's why about them no say. Bigger fish are fry for them blouse and skirt. My people, listen to this. Parliament's Constituency Boundaries Committee has rejected a proposal by government lawmaker Everald Warmington to have the Electoral Commission of Jamaica use the Portmore Parish boundaries to finalize the next voters list for the May 31st deadline. During Tuesday meeting, Fitz Jackson, Member of Parliament for St. Catherine Southern, sharply responded, "You must be crazy," to Warmington's suggestion. You know why he said that? He said because he said what them a do. He see what them do now. Them a put a time limit per EOJ. But my wisdom warriors, you see how what's your name? House Speaker Juliet Holness happier in a good mood than Everald Warmington. Just a smile and a go on, cause them a say and we are gonna give the EOJ time limit right now, so they have to do it. But guess what? EOJ rejected it. I hope Nationwide put out that too. I bet they not gonna put.
So this is what committee halts Warmington push for Portmore Parish boundaries in May voters list. Yeah, I gotta find this. Yeah, I gotta find that article. That article is way too important not to find. Let me see if I can find it. Committee halts Warmington's push for Portmore to become push for Portmore Parish boundaries. Push for Portmore Parish boundaries. It was 2 days ago. How them do them take down this article? Very interesting. I don't know why I'm not finding it. Committee halts Warmington push for Portmore Parish boundaries in May voters this. Yeah, that particular story. Oh, okay. I found it. It's the same story. It's called Rejected. Sure know what I'm going. That's why I am here, ladies and gentlemen, so we can go through these important details and document them so we can have a greater understanding of what's actually going on. You know what I mean? Yeah, my bad, y'all. My bad. Sorry. Here we go. Here it is. This was April 2nd. Committee halts Warmington pusher for Portmore Parish boundaries. In the main voters list, Parliament Constituents Boundaries Committee has rejected proposal by government lawmaker Everett Warmington to have the Electoral Commission of Jamaica (ECJ) use Portmore Parish boundaries to finalize the next voters list new 31st deadline. During Tuesday's meeting, Fitz Jackson, Member of Parliament of St. Catherine Southern, shortly responded, "It must be crazy," to Warmington's suggestion. The next general election is constitutionally due in 5 months, and it is expected that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness will announce the date after the list is published. The committee, however, agreed to send the Portmore Parish law and recent court order to ECJ to seek its opinion on how the constituency boundaries should be adjusted to accommodate the elevation of the city municipality in St. Catherine to a parish. An update expected May 31st. The ruling Jamaica Labour Party and the opposition People's National Party have been bitterly divided over the process being used to make Portmore into country's 15th parish, with the PNP claiming that the government is engaging in political gerrymandering. They definitely are, in my opinion. At Tuesday's meeting, Committee Chairman Juliet Onis initially proposed submitting last week's Supreme Court order to ECJ to begin the process of adjusting boundaries. The order stemmed from the lawsuit filed by the PNP officially over the Portmore Parish law. Chief Justice Brian Sykes had granted a consent order, with the government assuring it would comply with Section 67 of the Constitution before enforcing the new parish law. However, Warmington said that what Holness proposed was not sufficient because the ruling must be based on something. He suggested that the Portmore Parish Bill, formerly the Counties and Parishes Amendment Act 2025, its accompanying map and boundary for Portmore be sent to. I think we should add that recommendation to include the voters list coming in May. Until that is done, this is of no use, he said. This proposal was immediately rejected by opposition member and government member Edmund Bartlett, emphasizing that Parliament role was simply to forward the act to the ECJ for its advice. He also noted that the situation was a rarity, as it was the first time since 1867 that Parliament was established in a new parish. There's no precedent, and the Parliament having passed the bill and the act now being in a position to fully implement, we will have one responsibility, and that is to forward the act, said Bartlett. He added that the ECJ was entrusted with determining constituency boundaries, with Parliament later reviewing its advice. Voters rejected Warrington's suggestion that we insist on certain considerations, stating, I won't even repeat that I didn't want. And ultimately, the committee voted unanimously to send the court order and Portmore Parish Law to ECJ for consideration, with a deadline for feedback by May 31st. Warmington's push to include Portmore Parish boundaries in the voters list follows public statements in November 2023, when he claimed that the boundary shift will benefit the JLP. Yes, and I have that audio. If you would like me to play it, just say play it, ladies and gentlemen. That gerrymandering audio. Then a cabinet minister, he asserted that the expected boundary shift would create a JLP stronghold in St. Catherine East Central, now represented by the JLP Orlando Turner. When we take Portmore off of St. Catherine, it is a different ball game. It means that under no circumstances PNP can ever win St. Catherine Parish Council again. Never again, he said. The Portmore Parish boundary excludes several committees that historically voted for the PNP. Most of the communities are located in constituency represented by Turlington and Jackson. We have the boundary that we wanted all along, Warmington said. Meanwhile, Attorney General Dr. Derek McCoy reminded the committee that ECJ's responsibility is just to advise on constituency boundaries. You defer to it to advise you, and you accept or reject the advice. It gives the Parliament makes its decision as to what the boundaries are, he said. No, notwithstanding Parliament authority and long-standing convention credited with reducing political violence, has to accept recommendations from ECJ, whose commissioner includes representatives from JLP and PNP. Former ECJ chairman Professor Errol Miller has stated that Portmore cannot officially become a parish before February 2026 because of the constitutional review requirements. Hello? This is important. That's why I have to continue reading, ladies and gentlemen. Strategy we are going with. We see in our place. Jerry, big up yourself. Alright? This is very important. This part right here. Former ECJ chairman Professor Errol Miller has stated that Portmore cannot officially become a parish before when? February 2026. Hello? Because of the constitutional review requirements. If there is compliance with the Constitution of Jamaica, then the earliest time that Portmore can become a parish is February 2026. This is because the Constitution of Jamaica is elusively specific as to when electoral boundaries must be changed, which is during a 2 to 4 year period of general review, which is 4 years after the last period of a general election. Wow. The last general review ended in February 2022. So 4 years from 2022 is 2026. That is very clear. And he said pellucidly. Let's look at what pellucidly means, ladies and gentlemen. Pellucidly. What is the meaning of that? Pellucidly, in a way that is very clear and easy to understand, or transparently clear. So, I'm going to be using this word more often. pellucidly. So the Constitution is very clear. It's very pellucidly specific. It's clearly specific as to when the electoral boundaries must be changed, which is during 2 to 4 years period of general review, which 4 years after the last period of general review. The last general review was when? February 2022. He said in an opinion published on his blog in March. Thank you so much, Mr. Former ECJ Chairman, Professor Errol Miller. 4 PNP officials, including MP Jackson, filed a lawsuit against the government last month, arguing that enforcing the law prematurely would cause potential irreparable constitutional breaches and violations of the structure of local governance. The opposition had relied on concerns raised by the ECJ, which in February warned Parliament that the proposed parish boundary may negatively affect the constitutional provision prohibiting constituencies from crossing parish lines. According to the ECJ, the proposed boundary would impact 4 constituencies, 13 electorate divisions, and 398 polling divisions from the parish of St. Catherine. The government, however, has maintained that the Portmore Parish Law was only about creating a parish. It is also said it had sought responses from ECJ multiple times since June 2024, but had yet to receive updates. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, God is in control. The Jamaica Labour Party is working overtime like the devil, like the thief in the night. You understand? That's what the Portmore mayor was and is. Bolo mayor Leon Thomas. Yeah, me read me cover that something already. You have to give me some update in the splash about that situation there with the mayor, you know. All the thing go. All the thing go, it really go. You have any internal update go on? Let me know. Please, ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button. You understand? Please. We're in the zone of rebuilding the platform. So yeah, I really need everybody to get on board with hitting the like button. Without me asking, even when I put up a video, if you get the notification, even if you watch the video already, just hit the like button and move, man. And drop a comment, man. You know, just hit the like button and drop a comment. Alright? Watch a minute of the video, at least. I hit the like button and move on, innit? But I'm on a building stage right now, on a rebuilding stage. Alright, guys? Yeah, so I need you guys help. So let me know what you think about that in the comment section. Good?